So we're Deposco. You did say it right.
I was saying it right. Yes. Off to a good start.
Yeah, and so we're a cloud-based supply chain company. So we help businesses, especially a lot of e-commerce businesses, expand their growth by reducing their operational costs, as well as getting faster shipping times, and just being able to provide a better customer experience.
Nice. So there's one thing I've started to learn, especially from doing these Feedback Friday things, is that your space is so crowded.
Yeah.
There are so many software solutions out there for this. So it comes down to, because we get sellers all the time who ask us, like, which one should we use? Which one is everyone using? And that's why I like to do these, is because we get to learn a little bit about everyone that's out there. And it's so crowded. So what is it that you guys have that kind of differentiates you from the others?
Yeah, so we're actually, when I say cloud-based, we're actually cloud native. So a lot of the softwares that you see that are also in the same space as us, we're way back and they are still on a main server, and then they just put it up to the cloud. We were actually built in the cloud, which what that means is we're very flexible, and we're able to integrate with, right now we have over 80 pre-built integrations, and we can build one for a customer if they need it with another system. So that keeps us as the central system that they can see all their operations from their CRM as well as their ERP going through their WMS. They have full visibility of their warehouse.
Oh, wow. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to ask you, so I'm just going to kind of we'll hammer through them. I know one of the things I did want to talk to you guys about is the whole one-day fulfillment thing that's really starting to pick up. Obviously, Amazon's got it, Walmart's starting to get it.
Yeah.
If you're not able to be on Amazon or Walmart, or even if you just have your own website and you're doing it your own way, how are you supposed to compete with that? 2 days is hard enough.
We actually do 1 day fulfillment with a lot of our clients. We've been doing it. So it has been out there and it has been available, and people just don't realize it, that it is possible. And it all comes down to your system running efficiently and having an effective system where you can see your orders and increase your efficiency. So any business is able to compete, and it's having a central supply chain and an OMS, an order management system, to be able to see from your store to your website and be able to fulfill all of it together in one place. So
wow. So this is always one of those weird gray areas where it's kind of marketing and it's kind of not, because everything is marketing. But so this really kind of entails into the actual customer journey and actually providing the best customer experience for someone to be able to get something in 24 hours, which is still crazy to me. Yeah. So how is it you guys have kind of been able to integrate yourselves into these businesses to be able to kind of put the customer first?
Yeah, so a lot of them we're able to fulfill from any location. So if you have a store, if you have a warehouse in Kansas and a warehouse up in Boston, you can look and see which one is the optimal warehouse to send to for the client at the optimal cost. And you have full visibility from every location to be able to see how much you have of what product in each warehouse. So that's something people really like. And, visibility was the big thing in omnichannel before. And now it's all about fulfillment and omnichannel fulfillment, and being able to have that visibility, but also have faster shipping and more effective, at doing so, and being able to return anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Do you, are you guys going to hop on the whole drone thing now that I hear is Amazon's got coming out in a few months? I heard it's supposed to be end of summer they may start doing it. Do you integrate with any of them?
Yeah, no, not we're not looking at the drone thing, the fashionable thing at the moment, but probably not the ideal optimized kind of shipping. So.
Yeah. You guys are based in Atlanta, correct?
We are, yeah.
Or I'm sorry, in Georgia. You're outside Atlanta, right?
Yeah, right outside of it. You just say Atlanta because otherwise you don't know where you're at. So.
Yeah. How long have you guys been around?
We have been around since about 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the integration side of it, you guys have been around for a while. I'm sure you've learned a lot about different platforms. How are your sellers typically on several different marketplaces, their own website, the whole nine, pretty much?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So do you have a preference of which ones you guys work with, or have you kind of just pretty much gotten it down packed by now?
No, yeah, we work with everyone, anyone. a lot of people, especially we see this with smaller businesses and e-commerce businesses, realizing that they're outpacing and outgrowing not having a WMS. They'll usually look at ERP and think, oh, this has a WMS built in on it. I can use this, it's all in one. And what they tend to find is that it's a very thin layer of WMS. And so what you really need in the system is your CRM, your WMS in the middle, and then your ERP, and having it all integrated. So we connect with the ERP systems as well as the CRMs. And some of them, some of the ERPs do compete with us with their thin layer of a WMS, but we compete with them for their ERP. So,
do you have a kind of like the ideal seller that you work with? Is there a certain size, or is it kind of range?
It's complex. We work with mid-sized businesses that are up and coming and growing, as well as larger ones, like an enterprise space. So we're all over, and it's because we're so flexible, we're able to adapt for every client.
Okay. So one of the questions I actually got from the seller the other day, and this is one of those things they ask us questions, and I know marketing, but if you ask me anything outside of in operations, I'm total lost. So where do you decipher whether you go with a 3PL or you actually keep your own like in-house logistics system? Like what do you guys usually suggest?
We just kind of both. It depends on the business. If you've just moved out of like shipping stuff out of your living room and you're expanding a little bit, then a 3PL might be a really good option for you to get it out of there. But if you're so large that you're in multiple 3PLs across the country, then it may be time to evaluate having your own warehouses. And we adapt to both. We have clients that have warehouses as well as use 3PLs, and they have visibility to each of those.
Okay. And you guys integrate with pretty much any of those?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. One of my favorite questions for SaaS companies: new features, new integrations, anything coming out that no one knows about yet?
Not that I can say.
Damn, I always try to get one. So there's a lot of stuff going on with e-commerce right now, right? Like we have this whole tariffs thing, and now everyone's kind of up in arms about what's going to happen. And then on the other end of that, we also have Prime Day coming up, which is not really related, but still. Where do you kind of see, where do you guys think the industry is headed? Where do you think we're going to end up being next year?
I mean, I think it's just going to still be growing and expanding. And I see like shipping times going way down, as well as like, one day. I mean, being that one day is now the hot thing, I think by next year, one day is going to be the standard, and customers are going to expect it. So businesses need to adapt to that. Do
you think we'll be able to get under a day?
Yeah, I think
really?
It's the same day, and I think Amazon's already probably starting that.
Wow. So do you see? I'm curious as to. So one of the issues like these sellers will have is obviously Walmart already has basically warehouses that are really just their retail stores already planted across the country. Amazon has their warehouses. I'm wondering how do sellers start to compete with that? Do you think that everyone's just going to have to deal with it and start fulfilling out of a Walmart or out of an Amazon warehouse?
Yeah, I mean, through a store, through Amazon, through their own website, warehouses, 3PLs, but it just comes down to your system and being able to fulfill from the store, from the warehouse, from the 3PL, and having that visibility and having that mapped out. And what we like to do with a lot of our clients who are coming in and they're not really sure is we like to act as that partner to be able to suggest to them and recommend to them what we think might be the best plan and have a diverse plan of options for them.
Nice. So you also mentioned earlier about the basically the I want to say the lead time. I don't think that's right. The
ship time.
The ship time. Thank you. So you said that's kind of coming down. So how is it Deposco kind of helps really start to narrow that time frame?
Yeah. So just to kind of, I guess, give some clarification into like where a lot of businesses are is if you don't have a system in place, you're printing out paper, you're looking in the warehouse, you're trying to find where the product is. I'm supposed to have 10 of them, but I only see 5 here. Mm-hmm. Someone's walking around and searching for it. So with a system, it's going to pull up maybe like 60 to 100 orders and automate that for you manually. And you can pull that many at one time and someone else puts them in the box and go. So like we have companies, so I'm working on some stories for our customers and trying to get to know it a little bit more. And we have one, just for an example, that's a retailer. And you can put an order in for, like, let's say pajamas. And in an hour, if the client calls and it's like, hey, I actually want to order a medium instead of a small, they might not be able to change it because that's fast. They're fulfilling in an hour. So that's how you can do same day. You prepare yourself for that by fulfill in an hour.
Oh, nice. Okay. What is, so, you know, every company's got like their dream case study scenario that they have that they always point to if this was the one time it worked perfectly. So who's that one or two like clients you guys always look at and you go, this was like ideal for us?
Yeah. So I would say the one that we talk about the most, I guess, is the educational corporation. I'm blanking right now. Yeah, corporation. Sorry. And what we were able to do with them, that was just why we talk about them so much, is from the 1 year to the year after using Deposco, their sales were flat, but their operational costs, they had a 98% increase in earnings because of how much they saved through using our system.
Oh, wow. That is an awesome case study.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So obviously, you know, I love keeping these real short and sweet. So really appreciate you doing this with me. I would love it if you can kind of give us some closing remarks, let everyone know where they can find out more about Deposco.
Yeah. So if they're more interested in learning about Deposco, have any questions, they can go on our website at deposco.com, or if they want to message directly for questions or have me like send it to someone who can help them explore further, they can email me at marketing@deposco.com.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Everyone who watches this later, whether here on Instagram or on YouTube or wherever else we put this thing, feel free to comment. If you have any questions, I'll make sure to send them over, or feel free to reach out to them directly, of course, as well. But Corinne, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing this with me. And I'm sure I will talk to you soon. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye.